Hello and welcome to another EA Sports UFC 4 video. And yesterday we got a bit of a surprise. Out of nowhere, a new fighter update. We received 2 additional fighters, one in the light heavyweight division, Magomed Ankalaev, and featherweight Giga Chikadze. We'll cover some of their strongest moves, and I took them both for a spin in OWC ranked fight, so we'll see how that played out. Like always, please support the channel and drop a like. Comment below, let me know what you think about the update, and please subscribe. You know I'm going for 250 likes. Help your boy out and punch that like button, which helps the channel grow. In the coming weeks, we finally will have a join button and some really cool prizes for channel members, so stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let's get right into looking at the new fighters. Okay, now, the first new fighter that we're going to be checking out is Giga Chikadze with those crazy kicks. And here's a look at his player model. And the first perk that I want to point out is out of the gate. Strikes consume less stamina in the first and second round, so you want to throw a lot early and often. And look at that kick power and kick speed, 96 and 97 respectively. So great kicks on Giga. However, on the ground, top control, bottom control is below average and an average chin. So you want to stay off the ground, keep it on the feet with those 5-star body roundhouses and kick combinations. Now, let's take Chikadze out on the ring circuit and see what happens. First fight against Chan Sung Jung. And I want to come out and use that 96 kick power early, but I paid for it, so I got to be careful. My opponent is already guarding his legs, because it can be a short night with that type of power. And whenever he is guarding down low, you know I want to go upstairs. Already a huge left hand there from Chikadze dropped my opponent. And we're going to talk about just exactly how I set that up. A lot of esports players already know you want to bait your opponent and follow up striking while planted. So I want to throw a combination, and just as my opponent thinks it's over, they're walking into a planted strike. And this is going to be the difference between really good strikers and just some of your average run-of-the-mill strikers. Here again, thinking that the combination is over with, and those planted strikes are still effectively hitting my opponent while they're just running into him. And so doing this pretty much the entire fight. Throw your combination as soon as you think it's over with. Just continue that combination while planted, okay? And those planted strikes are going to come out a lot faster. And Chikadze has enough power to where you have to respect it. Just still throwing that heat. And my opponent just didn't have enough health at the end of the match there. Just took a little bit too much early and often there. So I won't say Chikadze is necessarily a comp player, but he does have some good kicks and can be a nice alternative. Now, the next addition, Magomed Ankalaev in the light heavyweight division. Anytime you see somebody from Dagestan, watch out for the wrestling clinic. We're going to talk about this, why it's so important, especially coupled with that workhorse. You're going to take less stamina on the ground, and your fighter is going to have better transition defense, which is very powerful. Okay, nothing really to point out here in the stand-up. Everything is average. A 90 is going to be average, okay? Top control and bottom control just slightly above average. Same thing with the chin. Nothing really to point out here. The only thing that I possibly can point out is the body roundhouses. With the crazy legs, then you may have something that you can put together. But other than that, that's all you're going to have is a workhorse on the ground. Okay, now on the ranked circuit, I come out catching my opponent using the John Jones. And one thing I want to point out, if you take your opponent to the cage and you don't get that takedown, it costs too much stamina, because I'm telling you, against top level competition, that's the end of your night. Okay, now 5 keys to victory. Check out that video if you want to understand how to evade some of these kicks and follow up with a check hook. A nice explanation is there. Second key to victory, I want to say. Okay, now switching things up, going downstairs, going upstairs, changing levels. But my Jon Jones opponent is throwing all of the Jon Jones stuff, the knees, the elbows. And like I said, you may have that crazy legs perk there with that 4-star roundhouse. That's like the only thing you really want to get on the ground, on the feet, I want to say. And again, with my favorite combination, that's really the only thing I can get going. But I'm looking for one opening where I can trigger an animation to get a turning takedown or something like that. Now, instead of going all the way to the cage this time, decide to let it go or just going to run out by itself. But look at these spinning back fists here. You have to be careful of those because that's a continued combination I was running into. Okay, this time you went ahead and went for the takedown, and that's going to take a lot of stamina from your opponent. But you have to be careful when you catch that kick because one knee can end your night early from your opponent in that position. Okay, now Jon Jones again, just trying to tease that spinning back kick. And I did not get the takedown there. And look at that stamina already. I'm rocked in the first round, facing adversity, but I saw that my opponent was tired. Coming out in the second round here, I already know I'm trying to change things up and go for a takedown. And like I said, this is another tip that I was gonna give away. You saw right there the brief moment where I had that frame advantage because my opponent stumbled, and then I went for that turning takedown, okay? Off of the double leg, holding up on the left stick. Okay, now, you gotta know how to get out of that position. We covered that in a previous video also. Okay, get a transition block here on my opponent. And one thing that I want to talk about here is you need to analyze early if you're going to win this submission battle or if you're going to lose it. I really didn't know. I was focusing on my gauge and I didn't know if I was going to win or lose. And the reason why you want to determine, because if you cancel your submission attempt too late, then you're going to end up on your back from the most advantageous position, and you don't want to do that. And that's what happened right here with me, and I paid the price for it because I stayed on my back for a long time. However, the workhorse works on the top and the bottom there, and I was able to preserve my stamina, and I'm thinking that it's wearing on my opponent. Middle of the fight, you want to start taking control right here. Like I said, changing levels upstairs, downstairs. You want to kind of mix it up as much as possible in a huge left hand check hook from Magomed. And this time I blocked the jumping knee, and we got all of the spam. We got all of the smoke, and we want it all because we got to figure out how to fight these opponents. Now, when your opponent is going downstairs, look at that. You want to recognize that and follow that up with an uppercut. I'm gonna have a video out on that, how you can download a combination and then react accordingly. Third round, there it is, landing that check hook over and over and continuing that combination, throwing that heat. And then the same thing, huge right hand. And that's gonna seal the fate right there of my opponent. No matter what he throws now, he's going to be in trouble just because he's that weak. But I'm just going to secure this victory with a takedown. And here it is, that workhorse. Look at all of the time that my opponent is spending on his back. That control time right here is going to weigh heavily with the judges. And that's how we had to do it. This was a ranked fight against Jon Jones with the new fighter approaching Division 17 here, but either way, we got the win. Okay, now, man, we're going to have a join button coming up on the channel, and it's going to be a lot of surprises with these IMUHBOXER cards. I'm going to develop a whole environment around it, and it's going to be fun based upon whatever cards that you get. You got to join the Discord. I'm going to revamp the Discord, revamp the channel, have a whole new look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's have fun watching this Izzy and Robert Whitaker tomorrow. See you in the next video. Peace.